I don't doubt the aspirations of all parents in relation to their children. But I mean all parents. What we've been able to do is to make sure we release the funding to ensure that our state secondary schools have the teachers they need. And there's no point the party opposite pretending that they're interested in state education when they left them without the teaching they needed.
Dr. Lear-Jegvold.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You would never have witnessed a moment like this before. Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, was publicly humiliated and branded a liar in Parliament for making a claim that was utterly absurd. It was something MPs could hardly imagine in their wildest thoughts that Starmer would utter and then attempt to defend. Yet when he delivered the most blatant of lies, members could not restrain themselves, unleashing a storm of the harshest remarks Starmer had ever received. The Speaker was compelled to intervene, leaving Starmer uneasy about what action might follow. But what exactly did he say that revealed his ability to lie while presenting it as absolute truth? In this video, we uncover the entire story. At times, politicians tell falsehoods so brazen they leave people stunned. They are so raw and outrageous that the public is left speechless, shocked by the nerve of the Speaker. That is precisely what unfolded in the British Parliament when the debate turned to Starmer's proposal for an added tax on private school fees.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. St Hilda's Girls' School looks set to join Emmanuel Jewish Prep as the second school in Bushey alone forced to close because of Labour's VAT hike. This is a double hit to aspiration. First, the parents, many of whom not wealthy, who have described the significant sacrifices they have made to send their children to these schools. And secondly, to the excellent local state schools, including the one that I attended, which simply do not have the places, meaning this policy won't even save money. So may I therefore urge the Prime Minister, even at this late stage, to look again at the failures in this policy.
Even before Starmer delivered his remarks at PMQs, a private school in his own constituency had announced its closure because of his VAT policy. The Girls' Village School in Camden, located within Starmer's Holborn and Street Pancras seat, openly blamed Labour's VAT levy and national insurance hike for making operations unsustainable. The administration directly accused Labour's reckless taxation, leaving Starmer no room to deny responsibility. And it isn't just one institution, 12 private schools have already shut down, explicitly linking their closures to Labour's VAT agenda. Reports confirm that at least 77 independent schools in England have folded since Labour first floated the tax, with many more predicted to follow. The trend is undeniable. Smaller and mid-sized independent schools, particularly those beyond London and the South East, are collapsing under the strain of Labour's tax raid. Parents cannot absorb the sudden cost surge, enrollments are falling sharply, and schools are closing their gates. And where do those displaced pupils go? Straight into an already overburdened state education system, which lacks enough places to accommodate the influx. When Labour first unveiled their VAT plan, they promised it would generate £1.8 billion for schools. Starmer insisted those funds would be used to hire more teachers and enhance state education. It sounded promising, but only on paper. By pushing tens of thousands of pupils out of private institutions, Labour's proposal is actually adding pressure to state schools rather than improving them. Classrooms are already overcrowded, teachers are stretched thin, and now Starmer is forcing more students into a system barely keeping up. The outcome is fiercer competition for spots in high-performing state schools. Parents who saved for private education must now compete for limited places, worsening inequality, inflating class sizes, and straining resources. Starmer claims this policy benefits working-class families, yet the reality is it degrades state schools by dumping thousands more students into already packed classrooms. With private schools closing, thousands of teachers face unemployment, and state schools won't be able to absorb them quickly enough to meet the surge. Starmer fails to grasp this, largely because he never experienced such policies firsthand. His own educational background intensifies the hypocrisy. When asked about his schooling, Starmer revealed he attended a grammar school in Surrey, which, by the way, became private while he was enrolled. And how did he respond when confronted with this fact? He said he didn't think he even appreciated it.
I was a scholarship boy at my school and very proud of it. And I have to ask, what kind of a politician is it that sets out to make it more difficult for schools to offer exactly the kind of scholarships and bursaries that gave him such a crucial leg up in life? And the answer, of course, is Keir Starmer and the opportunity-destroying, aspiration-hating Labour Party. Read about it in my column in the Daily Mail.
So the man now claiming private education is an unfair privilege literally attended a private school himself, yet seeks to prevent other families from making the same choice. His stance reeks of elitist hypocrisy. He climbed the ladder and then pulled it away from everyone else. Meanwhile, Eton, Harrow, and Westminster will continue to thrive. The true victims of Labour's tax policy aren't the ultra-wealthy. They are middle-class parents who work hard and save to send their children to small, independent schools only to be penalised by Starmer's disastrous scheme.
The Prime Minister's decision to impose VAT on independent schools strips hard-working families of the choice for what is best for their children, while risking job losses for teachers, increasing class sizes, and squeezing state school resources to their absolute limit. With these impending threats, what actions is the Prime Minister taking to mitigate these effects if he is not undertaking an impact assessment to understand them?
Look, I do understand that many parents across the country save hard to be able to send their children to private school because they have aspiration for their children. So does every parent who sends their children to a state school. And the problem we have is we don't have enough teachers in key subjects in our state secondary school. Now, the party opposite may be prepared to tolerate that. I'm not. And that's why we've made this change to fund 6,500 teachers.
That's why this change was made to fund 6,500 teachers. Before we continue, let us ask, are you enjoying the video? If so, please like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive coverage of the transformative changes taking place in British politics. Let's move on. Furthermore, Labour's tax rate on private schools isn't just unpopular, it could be illegal. The Independent Schools Council has launched a High Court challenge against Labour's VAT policy, claiming it violates the rights of children and parents by disrupting their education. Meanwhile, Labour MPs are growing uneasy. Even Rupert Hook, a party member, warned that this measure is too blunt and might need reversal. He suggested smaller schools should be exempt, acknowledging the harm already caused. Labour may have cornered themselves. If the legal challenge succeeds, Starmer could be forced into an embarrassing U-turn. And if he resists, Labour risks triggering one of the most severe education crises in modern British history. Starmer acted exactly in this way. When the MP demanded he reverse the VAT policy, it was clear to all that the criticism was justified. Starmer's VAT on private schools was causing profound damage to education. Observers expected him to sidestep the question or promise to investigate. Yet Starmer appeared to be thinking entirely differently. Perhaps he had chosen to commit political suicide.
I don't doubt the aspirations of all parents in relation to their children. But I mean all parents. What we've been able to do is to make sure we release the funding to ensure that our state secondary schools have the teachers they need. And there's no point the party opposite pretending that they're interested in state education when they left them without the teaching they needed.
Dr. Rear, check ball.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Keir Starmer's political deception was laid bare in Parliament. This time, even his own policies turned against him. The Prime Minister's smug dismissal of reality met direct confrontation from Conservative MPs who could no longer tolerate his blatant falsehoods. Yes, Starmer claimed, without a shred of proof, that his controversial VAT plan wasn't forcing private schools to close. Yet even before he spoke, reality had already contradicted him. That's when Victoria Atkins, a Tory frontbencher, had enough. She directly called out Starmer's lie, shouting across the chamber, "That is a lie." The House erupted. Atkins, naturally, was required to withdraw the statement. Parliamentary rules forbid MPs from labeling each other liars, no matter how accurate the claim. Yet she merely voiced what everyone was all.
Shh, there is no punchline. I presume something was said that shouldn't have been said. I'm sure the member would like to withdraw what was said, if they've anything about them.
Starmer was caught denying basic reality, attempting to gaslight the entire nation into believing his crippling tax policies weren't destroying the very schools he claimed would adapt. This wasn't just a routine clash in Parliament, it was Starmer's credibility being shredded. This was far more than a poor PMQ's performance. It was a moment of reckoning. He faced his own lies, failed policies, and blatant hypocrisy, all broadcast to the nation. Yet his arrogance is staggering. Even as schools close under his watch, parents grapple with rising fees, and students are forced from classrooms, he pretends nothing is amiss. This is not the leadership Britain requires. Starmer is proving himself a detached, out-of-touch elitist, more invested in political maneuvering than actual solutions. If he doesn't wake up soon, this education crisis will define his legacy. His downfall is approaching faster than he realizes, because the British public despises dishonesty more than incompetence. Keir Starmer has just been caught lying to the entire country, with devastating consequences for thousands of families. What do you think? Does he have the moral authority to remain Prime Minister? Isn't it true that he's tarnishing the office of Britain's leader and disrespecting the oath he took? Share your thoughts on Starmer's hypocrisy in the comments, and discuss whether his policies truly benefit the public. Want to watch more videos like this? If so, please like, share, and subscribe for updates on British politics and the changes reshaping it. Until the next video, stay tuned.